There we go. Got it situated. Do I hit the button? Here we are. We're live. Welcome to On the Pipe Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Shepardson, and today is what's today? Wednesday, February the 15th, 2023 years after zero. We're live in Stu Baylor's living room. We're going to chat about some racing that's going on. We're going to chat about some racing that's coming up. And, who knows what else we're going to talk about. Real quick, as always, got to let you guys know, Beta Motorcycles is the official manufacturer of On the Pipe Podcast. Beta Motorcycles has been family owned and operated since 1905. They manufacture the finest enduro, trials, and dual sport motorcycles. They're known for their premium quality and rideability. Head over to betausa.com for more information on their available models and to get yours today. Also brought to you in part by Zach Tussle. Zach Tussle is a racer and a financial advisor with Raymond James, and he can help you manage your money. So hit up Tussle. He'll help you out, coach you up, tell you exactly what to do. But yeah, with that being said, hopefully we're kind of testing out a new system here. We're going to
What do I do with my hands? I don't know if I like this new method we're testing out. I'm a fidgeter. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Is this on?
It's on.
It's a good thing it didn't pick up on that last conversation.
Yeah, tell him what Tyler was just asking him.
That was weird.
I found the mute over here. Yeah, so I've never tried this setup. So we got a camera, one camera, split. You guys got wireless mic. That would be confusing.
Can you see me fidgeting?
Right up your pants.
Do I have a hole in my pants? If you see up Ben's pants, it's a problem.
Nah, the camera doesn't have a zoom. So, what's going on, man? I feel like it's been a while since we caught up. Obviously, since the big announcement, everything, we got Team Rider. Also, yes, let's start right there. What's new?
Well, pretty much everything's new. We put ourselves in a position last year to try to go out and do something a little bit different. And, last time I rode for Teely, it was more I was just a rider. And at this point, managing the team, tried to get all the deals together. And luckily, Rocky Mountain came on board, and that made for smooth sailing after that. KTM support, and then it was on to the selection of the riders. And we've got everybody down south training and just trying to get everything ready for the season at this point.
I had people in the chat telling me that my mic wasn't working, but I think I got it now.
Your mic or my mic?
Your mic's working. My mic's not.
My kid's about to come, so hopefully he's quiet.
Right now?
Yeah. Thought we had more
I
time.
don't think he's ever been quiet.
He will not be quiet.
And he's even got some new scars to show off too.
Yeah, he's got new stitches from today.
Hey man, this is what happens when we just try all willy nilly to put something together. School selfies. Thanks for letting me know, because I wouldn't have known that. I keep hitting this cord and the cord keeps coming out. But training. I mean, we're already a couple races deep. Ben, you raced full gas last weekend. Stu raced Sumter. How's training been? How's the program been? How's the new bikes been?
It's been a lot of up and down. The new bike is not like the old KTM whatsoever. So big learning curve for us. I think a big learning curve for a lot of people within the industry. I've had a really tough time, like trying to fine tune it and chasing some things that are just different, not necessarily good or bad. It's just different. So the new chassis is extremely stiff, and which is good for a higher level rider. When we both got on the bike, first impressions were phenomenal. But then when you start fine tuning, I think a lot of the R&D just hasn't been done yet. Not necessarily the R&D that most people would think, but like the stuff that we do specific, just little things to make the bike perform the way that we want for 3 hours.
And so you gave like a really technical breakdown when you switched bikes last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago. Like riding the new bike, riding the old mod, and how the mass centralization thing and how that felt. But you spent the majority of your career on a KTM. Is this bike anything like the KTM's that you've ridden at all, or is it basically like jumping on a brand new thing altogether?
It's completely different. I mean, I was I thought it would be very similar. And there's some things that are like the clutch feel is like when I got back on the bike, I was burning through clutches last year and then got on the KTM and I've gone all year without changing a clutch. So um, that side of things, it's kind of back to home. Like it's a feel that I'm used to, but everything else is nothing like the previous KTM's that I've ever ridden. It's a whole different machine. Like it really is. It's there. The power's different. The power delivery is phenomenal, um, and mainly the major things is the rigidity. It's very stiff, which is good and bad. Bad when you want it to flex a little bit differently in some of the small chop, but it's really good because the front end is so true to the ground. So when I got off of it, my first impression, like we both talked about it, we were like kind of like riding a Cowie. It's the Cowie's a little bit taller, narrower, feels light, a deep grunt, good power off the bottom, but the front end is so true. So this bike is really good with the front end, but we're still chasing some other things, throughout, just trying to make it more comfortable for the I guess everywhere, including the small chatter.
Sweet. So it sounds like a lot of testing and stuff going on in the off season.
So much. Dude, the one day I'm telling you, it had to be 8 hours. We were riding with the lights on.
I've given Ben a list just about every day of things to try, and I mean everything from changing sags to fork lines, clickers, obviously, tires, bibs. There's so much to it to make the bike really good, and like I said, a lot of times you step into a platform where there's been a lot of riders on that bike. With this being an all new bike, really only the motocross supercross guys have been on it, so that doesn't really relate to what we're doing. So as this season progresses, I think we'll find a lot more that seems to work or doesn't work with this bike.
So what's and we haven't really talked about any of this beforehand, but like, what's the relationship like with the factory team? Because like with those guys developing a new bike and dealing with all the same issues, like, is there a lot of communication between like a satellite team and a factory team, or are you guys kind of on your complete own program, or?
Yes and no. So with my program specifically, I have KTM factory support, engine suspension. So there's definitely an open line of contact there. Um, I think that KTM as a whole, if a bike has a failure, it looks bad on them. So it doesn't really matter if it comes from us or them. So I've got multiple lists from Timmy and those guys, like, hey, these are the things that you guys need to double check. These are some things that we found that work really good, things that don't work. So a lot of it is trial and error because every rider is individual. I mean, everything that works for me isn't going to work for most of the guys on the team, aside from Ben. Like pretty much, he and I have run almost identical setups with everything that we've done, and anything that I try, usually he likes, or vice versa. So, that part of it's good. But with the factory team, like you would have to imagine, and like it's obviously speculation, but you got to imagine if something really works, you always got to wonder, are they sharing it? Like, it's always a question. But I think as a whole, KTM, like I said, they want performance whether it's out of a privateer or out of the factory team.
What's it? I mean, with your dynamic, spending your whole career on KTM's and now going back, have you? I know that really a lot of races haven't happened yet, except for Sumter. But what do you think that's going to be like? Just interacting with the team and everything going on.
I think it's good. It's going to be different without Auntie there now. Timmy in charge of the team. I think Auntie's still going to be at quite a few, but I think as a whole, it's going to be very similar, kind of back to home. And I always enjoyed riding with Todd in the past. It's just been a little more upfront. You know, I obviously I had other offers, but to me, like I personally just felt like a lot of them were a dead end road. With me getting further in the career, like I want to try to build something with the OEMs, with the team, with Rocky Mountain, and put myself in a position to run teams after I'm done racing. So, I think it'll be a little bit different atmosphere because of that. I have different goals now and my career, and obviously different faces over there.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get more into that as well, and kind of how everything's going, and basically what the future and everything looks like. But I mean, Ben, want to get you involved a little bit here too. Like this whole thing has been completely different. I know last year doing your thing on the Honda and coming off of a couple championships, and now what's it been like for you? So, I mean, some new stuff for you this season, like you staying down here at the Shoals and training and training with Stu and kind of having him bounce some stuff off of and communicating and training and stuff. But then, like the whole team aspects of it, it's got to be a big change for you. So, I mean, what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been awesome for me. I've never had a team like this, to support me. I don't know. I like the bike and everything is great. It's awesome to have Stu there helping me with setup, like you said, and just the training and everything. It's good to have a team manager that's a rider as well, because he knows what we need and what we want, and you don't really get that anywhere else. So at first I was kind of like, I don't know how that's going to work, having him as the team manager plus riding plus training us. I figured it would be tough, but it's actually been probably the smoothest year I've ever had so far. So I'm excited to see, where the team goes and everything.
Yeah, have you guys gotten sick of each other yet or what?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a lot, man. He's
Tough.
a lot. We got in a boxing match the other night.
Really?
Yeah. It was.
I saw the boxing the punching bag and everything in there.
Yeah, we've been training. So our thing is like, I wish another team would. Like,
We definitely have the heaviest team.
like, yeah, pound for pound, come on. You may have double the numbers, but pound for pound, let's go.
I don't know. Grant and Strang. They gotta be close.
Dude,
Strang ain't pushing 220.
Nah, Grant ain't pushing 230.
All right, I think you guys got them covered then. But I mean, Ben said like bike change. Like you coming from a Honda to KTM.
Yeah.
I mean, what's been your experience getting ready for
So the bike change was huge actually. Whenever I used to ride KTM's in like 2017 or really in 2020, I rode Huskies, but yeah, like with the first time we got on them, I couldn't believe how similar it was to the Honda. Even I know the Cowie it's really close to, but the Honda and the new KTM has pretty close. They feel the same. Like the frame and how rigid the frame is, it feels like the Honda. It wasn't really that tough to get comfortable on it. I rode it stock for like 2 weeks, and I felt good right away on it. The hard part was trying to fine tune it though, and like I said, we spent hours and hours trying to just get certain sections of the track or the bike to feel good on certain sections of the track. So it's different. It's different in ways. I like it better in some parts of it, but just taking some time. I think it's going to get better throughout the year.
Are you guys on 350s or 450s?
I'm on a 350.
Yeah, I'll be on a 450.
You'll be it?
If I had it my way, I'd be on a 300.
They won't let you.
No, I should have never ridden it. It's not that they wouldn't let me. I had never ridden one first. Yeah, Ben's still butthurt about that.
He did gap me on the 300 worse than the 450.
Where at?
Over on the clay side, where you were filming earlier today, that side of the creek. It was
The girl just got here, by the way. The casting.
Yeah, the casting crew. No, it was. I've never fallen in love with a bike so fast. It was like
300.
Yes, in 7 minutes. My first time on it, I was 11 seconds faster than I was on my 450.
Like not set up or anything, just
Stock shock with bub suspension, and he weighs 50 pounds less than me. That bike is honestly impressive. That would be mid-season. We're gonna have to go back at the drawing board. I might have to show up at, depending on results and where we're stacking up. Like, I think that's a national enduro weapon. Like, that bike is extremely good.
how does that work? Like I know it's always been like not up for a choice or whatever, but like if you wanted to ride that thing at Snowshoe or you wanted to take it to a national enduro, like is there any possibility that you can change?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the past, like I rode a two-stroke when KTM made a big change in 2016 or 17. I rode a two-stroke at one of the races there. I just bought one for myself, just to have fun on, and felt really good on that bike. And I think I got third that day in Ohio on it. So yeah, it's definitely possible. But at this point, we have all of the bikes that I'm allocated for the year, so I would have to go out and purchase one. But if I could sweet talk the right person and say, listen, let me showcase this two-stroke, depending on where everything's stacking up, like I think that it would be a possibility that I could get my hands on one.
Wouldn't that be a sight? Could you imagine like the Stu Baylor fans that are already there, and then you come by on a two-stroke too?
Dude, I'm telling you, that bike it's hungry. That was the most impressive. I told Ben when I got off of it, I was like, don't even ride it. Like, just don't do it. He's like, why? I said, because it's a three-stroke. He's like, what do you mean? I said, it's not a two-stroke like you've ever ridden. It's not a four-stroke. Like, it is a bike that you can ride inside lines that you didn't think were possible on a two-stroke. Like a two-stroke, you look for a groove. You look for something to bank off of. This bike, you could ride it inside. You could pull fourth gear wherever you wanted. And I rode the SX, so it was, I mean, everything you wanted and then some when you wanted it. Like, the bike was extremely impressive.
Dang. So, second ago, you will be on 450s. Have you been riding a 350 or you been riding 450s or?
I've just been on the 450 this year. I rode Ben's 350 a little bit, and the 450 is really good, but the 350 is also very impressive. The power on the 350 in the past wasn't. It was weird. You had to ride it like a 250F. Like, it was just it was essentially a bored out 250F. And when I rode his bike, you could pull a gear taller like you were on a 450, but you could still ride high on RPMs like a 250F. So I think with the new motor, the changes that they've made to it makes that bike a lot better overall than it was in the past. Like, when I made my decision to ride the 450, it was based on prior KTMs, and I still think it's my bike of choice at the GNCCs, but the National Enduros, I think the 350 would be a little bit better, just a little bit easier to manhandle.
Sweet. Speaking of National Enduros, I think a big question that people would have is Sumter and what happened out there. But I know your post dealing with some sickness and stuff, but can you kind of walk us through Sumter? I guess both of you guys.
Yeah, it was rough. Like, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was sweating and shaking, and got up that morning and tried to eat breakfast and couldn't hardly eat. Just wanted to really go back to sleep, and I felt like shit pretty much since. I was sick all that week, and then tried to do some testing and still trying to get the stuff done that I needed to, but really just been drained ever since Sumter. It's getting a little bit better, but yeah, I was absolutely miserable on Sumter. I just couldn't stay focused, and I could ride the first 2 miles of each section good, and by the third mile, it was like I was just going backwards, and I could feel it. I mean, the trees were getting blurry, and that's one of those races. It's pretty high speed through the pines, so I was just trying to nurse it in, and it was kind of a bummer for that to be the first round, and to come in and perform like that. Like, obviously nobody wants to perform like that, and it was definitely discouraging to know that we put the work in and then have a result like that. And had some other things, some curveballs thrown at me that morning as well, with a little setup change that I thought I could run and wasn't able to run, that I had been riding that week. So I was basically on a bike that I was definitely not comfortable on. I had to make some major changes that morning, and stuff that I wasn't used to and I didn't have any time on. So at least in the last week or two when I was fine tuning things. So there was some complications, but it was just one of those days where you just try to salvage what you can. And I got points and didn't have a DNF, so it sucks. Sumter's one of my favorite tracks. I don't know the exact statistics there, but I think I've won like 6 out of the last 10 years. So for me to go there and get the worst result of my national enduro career that I can remember, and at least the last probably close to 10 years, that was a pretty big letdown. So it sucks, but it is what it is. And I'm just glad we came out without an injury, because the trees were getting mighty blurry.
Man, going through all that, and obviously that was a week and a half ago. How are you feeling now? Like, is everything good with training?
Drained. Yeah. So I've been actually I never go to the doctor. I went to the doctor the day before yesterday, because I was like, something's not right. So got some medicine, and hopefully it'll clear everything up. But yeah, I was definitely feeling it. I was beat down, have been beat down, and just trying to stay on top of things. It's been a difficult task the last couple of weeks.
Dang. Well, hopefully that medicine gets you cleared up, because you got 3 hours this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I don't have COVID. They tested for COVID. I don't have COVID. She said you might have had it before, but I'm not going to be a number on their board. So that was my first COVID test, and they pretty much they forced it on me. So I won't be doing another one of those.
It's not COVID, man. I heard there's only a 99.9% chance you get through it. So
yeah, you're right.
Ben, what about you? You're coming off a Pro 2 championship, then stepping into the Pro 1 class this year at the National Enduros. I know you and I talked about your race and stuff before, but kind of walk us through it. It sounds like there were some meaningful battles and a lot of good takeaways that you can take from the day.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty bummed on the day, honestly. I leading up to the race, I felt that I was riding probably the best I ever have. But yeah, I went in first test, and something just felt off, and I thought it was maybe just first race of the year. Just felt jittery, just wasn't riding good. But we just had some issues that were out of my control that I didn't know about till Monday. I didn't mention anything at the race, just tried to ride through it because I just thought it was me. But yeah, there was good and bad to it. I still tried the whole time, didn't quit, tried as hard as I could to at least be relevant at the race. I definitely don't think I should have got beat as bad as I did with how I've been riding. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was good, some bad. Definitely gonna pick it up the next one though.
So, I mean, stepping into this, you call it the rookie year, moving up to the front line, GNCC, Pro 1, and National Enduro. I guess, which one of the two do you have more confidence going into? Like racing the front line with the GNCC guys, or racing Pro 1 at the National Enduros?
I don't really have any expectations this year, honestly. I mean, these dudes are, look down the line. They're all the best. And, I'm looking forward to GNCC this year. I think it'll be a better year for me on the 350. I struggled on the 250. I'm just too big for one. The 350 got the power to pull me around, and I'm hoping that, just being on the front line with these guys, I can follow and learn some stuff and learn the pace and figure it out a lot better than last year.
Man, you're sitting right next to your team manager talking about not having any expectations. Have we not?
I don't have
expectations.
as soon as I get it, I just want to see how it goes. I do have goals, but I'm not going to say them because I had goals for National Enduro, and Stu, he shut me down.
Shot him down. What were those goals?
I don't know what his goals were. I told him to set goals.
I did. I didn't meet it.
You didn't meet it?
No.
What was the goal? Top 5?
Well, I just wanted to beat a couple people. There was a few people I wanted to beat, and I didn't.
That sounds like a whole other discussion.
Yeah. Ben's really bad about worrying about other people instead of his own performance. So I think
I didn't mean other people. I meant I just wanted to.
You just said other people.
I just want. Yeah.
It sounded to me like it was other people, which is exactly where he was when he came here 2 years ago, and I gave him a bit of advice up in the sweatshop out back. And I thought that it weighed in a little heavier than it did. Obviously, it didn't. So, yeah, we're going to have to maybe rehash out that advice that I gave him. His problem is he likes to, I'll let you fill it in.
I like to what? I was happy with the weekend, kind of. There was things that I wasn't happy with.
I was about to say, your whole attitude changed because when we talked, you were pumped or not pumped.
I mean, yeah, I was pumped, but the more I thought about it, I should have done better. That's all there is to it. I put in too much work this winter to not do better than that. So I was pretty upset.
Well, good thing is that there's more coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have his time to shine. Maybe when I retire.
Man, so I guess coming into GNCC, obviously Big Buck didn't go great last year. I'm hoping that we have a better showing at Big Buck this year. But I mean, what's your mindset like coming into the season? Basically, because 2 years ago the championship that came right down to contention, and last year kind of getting taken out of it at the first round. So I mean, what's it feel like? Does it feel like any other year or?
Big Buck is one that sits heavy. You look back to the last 2 years, that was the race that took me out. The year prior, I was advised to ride the bench on that one, and looking back, even if I would have just scored some points, it would have been a championship. So, but it's bittersweet at Big Buck. That was where I got my first win, and my brother got his first win. So, the track is not my favorite track. I've always felt like it was pretty dangerous, high speed for how rough it is. It's just it's one of those places where you're going really fast and it's really rough, and there's a lot of room for error. So I don't know. Usually I'm pretty good about setting stuff aside, but and obviously I came back from that injury last year and got some wins, but I think this year it might be a little bit tougher for me just at Big Buck. I guess we'll have to see. I've never really looked at a race and been nervous about it. The things that might go wrong. And as a racer, you can't think about the what if. At the rate of speed that we ride, even on a practice day, if you think about what if, dude, you would give yourself a heart attack thinking about the shit that we're doing on a bike on a daily basis that could kill you, could break your neck. So, those are the things where, as a racer, you got to set that stuff aside. But, needless to say, I'm sure at some point there will be a time where I'm second guessing things on that track and just trying to think about the big picture. You look at the last total wins of the last 2 years champions, comes up to less than half of the amount of wins I've gotten in the last 2 years. So it's you got to think about a championship, and not a race win.
Does the added responsibilities this year, does that factor in anything, like having the running the team and dealing with all the background stuff, where like on a factory team or whatever, I feel like it's more of just show up, do your job, and go home. With it seems like there's a lot more on your plate this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that can play an effect in anything, but for me, I enjoy it. Like, I've always tried to talk to my sponsors and been pretty active in the things that I do on a daily basis, regardless. So to me personally, like, I don't think that will affect. I mean, there's days and times where it does drive your focus elsewhere when you should be focusing on certain things. But I mean, there's a lot of days. Hell, this week we've had quite a few days where had shit storms, and then I've got to go get back on my bike and go do a moto. So, today being one, the day before that, and the day before that. So, when I get back on the bike, I mean, that's the spot where your head's clear. And I've always been able to, in almost every situation, I've been able to clear my head the second I throw a leg back over that bike. And, you're in control at that point. You're not thinking about all of the little things, throughout the week. But like I say, there's definitely days where it drives your focus elsewhere. But I think overall, like, we've done everything that we could in our power at this point to make sure that the results should be there. And, it's just a matter of lining up and putting ourselves in a good position. And I won't be thinking about anything else once I'm out there. I took that stump out last year, so it shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. There is still one more stump that I hit before that. I couldn't get it out, but I might try to pull that one out. I might walk back there. I know we're not allowed to pre-walk the course, but I may see if we can get some special assistance back there with the dozer Friday and just get that thing taken care of too.
Have we gotten that thing back yet? That thing's getting turned into art.
It is supposed to be getting turned into art. I have a feeling it will probably show up this weekend. So there's no telling what it might look like. But yeah, it's supposed to be a trophy. We'll see what kind of trophy he comes up with.
Can't wait to see that. I forgot all about it, so we started talking about it.
Yeah. Todd took that one home. And if anybody knows Wild Todd McDonald, there's no telling what that stump has been turned into.
Hopefully we get to find out this weekend. But me being who I am as a person, trying to get all this set up, just realized my camera's about to die, and the battery's on track. So, I guess we'll end it here. But want to hear your guys' like predictions for the weekend, or kind of closing thoughts heading into the next GNCC season.
I mean, I personally, like, podiums are key, so I'm happy with the podium. I just got to put myself in a good position, and this new bike starts very well, so I think we should be able to get off to a good start. And as long as you're up front, it looks like moisture this weekend, so not too worried about dust or anything that'll hold you to the back. But I think if I can get up front and just ride that pace again, just the first GNCC, it's always a dick measuring contest. Everybody wants to go as fast as they can, and I think this year, like, especially, I'm just gonna have to be smart and ride it in for 3 hours and make sure I'm just in the right spot at the right time.
Sweet. So looking towards the top 3 at least.
Podiums, I'm happy with podiums. Look at the last couple of years. That's what I gotta remind myself. Like, race wins clearly don't matter.
Yeah. Combined 5 race wins between the last 2 GNCC champions.
Yeah.
So consistency is key. Ben, what's your thoughts heading into the weekend?
No predictions. I'm just gonna go out and do everything I can to. I just want to ride like I ride here. If I ride like I ride here, then I'll be happy. I'll be good. I know I can do it, so I'm gonna have to try. Just be there for 3 hours, see what happens.
We gotta work on this goal setting.
Yeah, I don't think he has very good goal setting.
I don't say, oh, I'm gonna do this.
All the days that you ride here better than today.
Today was bad.
Yeah.
Today was bad.
See what happens when he sets goals? You heard his last
I
goal as we
almost-
left the porch.
I almost
said,
rage quit today.
I'm going to conquer this effing track.
No fault.
I've not made a moto without crashing yet. I come around on lap 4 and Ben is upside down in the trees 20 feet off the track.
But
With his bike pinned between trees. It took 2 people to get it out.
I did do 3 laps good after that, and I was like, I'm done. That was good enough.
We got a small feed out of it.
That was like the gnarliest track.
It was pretty butchered.
It's like hard enduro plus GNCC.
It was pretty butchered. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but yeah, he had some issues out there today. Hopefully he doesn't perform like
Today
that.
wasn't my day.
I guess real quick, talk about the team setup this week. I know y'all got some stuff planned, and I just kind of want to give you an opportunity to invite people into the pits because I know y'all have some entertaining going on, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to have a dinner where a couple people got lucky on Instagram giveaway with that. And then after that, so it should be at 6:30, we're going to open up the tent. Anybody that wants to stop by, we're going to have some music going on underneath the tent. And, you know, to me, like, it was just an idea that kind of came across, and Todd and I discussed it a bit. And we're going to try to do something else cool at Camp Coker. Just trying to, we're thinking about a special guest there as well. But we just want to move people back to Pro Row. I mean, the last few races last year, I walked down Pro Row and nobody was out and about. Everybody's on their phones, you know, buried elsewhere, watching podcasts or whatever people do with their lives. And you know, I think with social media, so many people feel like they know the pros as they are. And I want to open the tent up and have people come over, hang out. The race bikes will be under there, like just something different. I mean, when I was a kid at GNCC, back before Instagram was this far away, you know, I wanted to go meet.
I think everybody got the most of it in there. So yeah, 6:30 Friday night.
6:30 Friday night, live music underneath the Teely tent.
So 6:30 Friday night, live music underneath the Teely tent. We have lost audio with Stu and Ben, but want to thank you guys for the time and for sitting down. Good chat, and thank everybody for listening. And we'll see you this weekend for the Big Buck GNCC.